Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to talk about Genesis 4, verse 12. When you till the ground, it shall no longer yield to you its strength. You shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth. This verse details the consequence of Cain's sin, a severed relationship with both the earth and society, which mirrors the severing of his spiritual alignment. In the mystical view of the Zohar and Midrash, this punishment is not arbitrary, but a mirror of Cain's inner reality, revealing how violence and denial sever the human soul from divine channels. The first phrase we have, when you till the ground, a broken covenant with earth. Cain was a tiller of the ground. His identity was rooted in his connection to earth, an extension of the Shekinah. But now, this bond is broken. He turned the womb of the earth into a grave. Now the womb will not receive him. Kabbalistically, the ground corresponds to Malkuth, the lower Sephirah and vessel of divine manifestation. By spilling blood into it, Cain defiled the channel of manifestation itself. As a result, the flow of energy is cut off. No matter how much he works the land, it will remain barren. The Midrash says Cain would try to sow, but the earth would spit out the seeds. The very act of labor became cursed, not because the earth was evil, but because his hands were no longer trustworthy. This reflects a principle: spiritual impurity blocks material blessing. Next, we have the phrase, it shall no longer yield to you its strength. Withheld energy, withheld abundance. The strength of the earth refers to its productive power, its divine vitality. By cutting off that channel, Cain is starved from below. He becomes a man who toils but never thrives. He poured out blood, and so his own hands lost their strength. He killed, and the ground became silent to him. In Kabbalah, when energy cannot rise in purity, it cannot descend in blessing. Cain has desecrated the cycle of giving and receiving, so now nothing flows toward him. The Midrash paints Cain as trying to reclaim the land, even crying and praying, but the earth refused him. He had become a spiritual leper, rejected by nature itself. This reveals a cosmic truth. Those who destroy life lose alignment with the sources of life. Next, we have the phrase, you shall be a fugitive and a wanderer. Spiritual dislocation and rootlessness. Cain's exile is not just geographic, it is existential. The words na venat mean one who trembles and drifts. He no longer has a place in the tree of life. His soul is unrooted, unable to anchor. He fled not from city to city, but from realm to realm, unable to remain within any gate of light. This is the fate of one who severs The inner soul structure, constant wandering, inner instability, and a life disconnected from purpose. Midrash says Cain wandered like a man with no shadow, a metaphor for lack of divine covering. Some rabbis say he lived in fear, always thinking others would kill him. The Midrash also teaches that na venat implies emotional restlessness, the torment of knowing he could have repented but chose denial instead. The Kabbalistic symbolism behind the verse, Cain as a symbol of disconnected power. Cain represents Gevurah without Hesed, power without mercy. His punishment is therefore poetic. He is denied foundation and land. Foundation was represented by Yesod, and land represented by Malkuth. He has the fire of action, but no grounding to give it meaning. He became a flame with no altar, a soul with no body, a man with no center. His exile becomes the archetype of fallen force, when energy becomes destructive and is then banished from sacred circulation. To summarize, Genesis 4 verse 12 reveals the spiritual fallout of Cain's sin as illuminated by the Zohar and Midrash. His punishment is not just material, it is existential. This verse teaches a mystical truth. Those who violate sacred structure, life, soul, ground, lose access to order, blessing, and peace. Cain becomes the blueprint of the exiled soul, a being with power but no place to hold it. That's it for today. Thank you very much for your donation. Be blessed, everyone, and I will see you on the next episode.